And we are back here on the WHHI-TV Daily News. With me now is Alex Brown. He is, of course, a town councilman and mayor pro tem. Always good to see you.
Same here. How you been?
Very well, thank you. How about you?
A little warmer than last time we saw each other.
Right. It's heating up out there. It does it every year.
That's right.
Yeah. So we have a meeting coming up next week.
Yes.
A town council meeting.
3 p.m. Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Yes.
And it's an important one because there's going to be a lot of things discussed, but primarily the thing that you want to make sure that you're emphasizing is the ATAX allocation, because that's a big topic of conversation. There are certain regulations around it, but then there's some discretion that goes on there. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Sure. So the ATAX dollars that primarily are paid by folks that visit Hilton Head, shows up on their bills when they go to the hotels and so forth. But basically 30% of that money that we collect goes straight to the designated marketing organization, okay, to continue to market Hilton Head as the #1 destination in the continental U.S., okay? And then 5% we have to pay ourselves as a town government, okay? That leaves 65% of about $12.3 million we're projecting for fiscal year 26 that we have to figure out what to do with, okay? And typically, we've given a portion of that money to nonprofits that operate in our area, Coastal Discovery Museum, Mitchellville, and so on. We've also paid ourselves as a town a little bit more into the general fund to take care of some of the things that happen operationally around town when tourists are here, fire and rescue, and that sort of thing. Sure. We put some money into capital improvement projects in the past, and we've also put money into housing in the past, okay? There was state legislation that was passed about 3 years ago that allowed municipalities to use up to 15% of their ATAX dollars for housing, okay? It's called Act 57. It sunsets in 2030, okay? So the legislator wanted to see if this would work, okay? Now the town has history. We've given out ATAX monies before for housing efforts, okay? So there's discussion around sort of taking that 65% and putting some parameters, okay? How much are we gonna give to nonprofits? How much are we gonna give ourselves, okay? So that on a year-to-year basis, folks can expect
that this is where it's going.
There you go, okay? So we've taken a 5-year look back historically of what we've done, okay? So the percentages that are being proposed sort of match up. So nonprofits, they're not gonna lose, they're gonna get about the same they were getting before. But the one that I really wanna focus on is the housing, okay? So again, legislation says up to 15%. It's being proposed that we use 5%, okay? Which equates to about $600K, all right? So not a lot of money, but it keeps the program going, okay? And we know that we have to be very creative when it comes to solving a housing issue, particularly here on Hilton Head. And funding is a critical piece of that.
Yeah, well, housing has just been a buzzword for years and years. It's just been a topic of conversation. And, obviously, I'm sure it will spark some conversation next week, which, of course, you want to have. But you mentioned before we started filming that you really wanted to talk specifically to businesses so that they could be aware of what's happening here and maybe get some representation at that meeting, because typically what you have is residents who are for it and residents who are against it.
Absolutely.
And they kind of just butt heads a little bit.
Sure.
But bringing that business piece in would really change the discussion.
Oh, it's so important. I mean, I know everybody's in the thick of it right now, the middle of July, a very busy time on Hilton Head, particularly when it comes to those revenues that are produced for ATAX, okay? But that quality of service that we're looking for through our workforce is in jeopardy if we don't have qualified housing for our workers. So yes, I think the business community needs to understand that this is a critical point in the whole effort of housing and having funding for it. And again, we're not looking to spend anybody's property taxes. This is ATAX dollars, and yes, the business community, I think we need to hear from them to understand the struggles that they're currently having with employment.
Yeah, because again, as we talked about before we started, the growth off the island is just continuing to be exponential, and so there's a lot of work opportunities there,
huge competition,
as opposed to trying to get over the bridge. So it's really important that they have a place where they can live if they want to work here.
Absolutely. So come, sign up to speak. We'll be looking for you, looking for a very good discussion around this, and hopefully we'll get it over the finish line.
All right. Well, Alex, we'll look forward to hear how it goes next time you're here. And we'll be back in just a minute, so stay with us.